New phone, new TV. Why? New job, Anna?
Same double. Man, forget to say every month of August inside we day. MTN Mumu, match again flow second stone.
Hey, you talk true.
Exciting things are happening with MTN Mumu. Anti-Koswa pump your MTN Mumu wallet. No. Fire payments, send money, shut our bills. Just do more on your MTN Mumu. For building more points, now winning more. iPhone 10, Samsung S9 Plus, Samsung TV sets, and up to 2,000 CDs e-cash. Ubeta free every month. Any achadie baby. 80 daily, *120# for check your points. Promo where you're locking it down till 31st October 2018. AFT. Uwinia promo code BIA. Untiashi. Asana wajo price. Uwinia number bako pair and a befrel 0244 300 000. Now about Joe price our MTN office. MTN and for text message and chadie. 80 koswa. Just Momo it everywhere you go. MTN Momo. Ayesa coat. Acheno. Atayebia niho. TNC supply.
Hello, good afternoon and welcome to the Midday News. This bulletin is coming to you live from our studios here at Kokomlimle in Accra on digital address GA0993341. It's broadcasting live on Joy 99.7 FM, also on Love 99.5 FM in Kumasi, affiliate across the country on ABN Radio in London and around the world at myjoyonline.com. The news is brought to you by Telesol 4G, proudly Ghanaian. Telesol, just a touch, and UMB Bank, UMB Speed Up, Digibank. Let's go. Coming up, family and friends of SDA pastor who lost 5 members of his family in an early morning inferno yet to come to terms with the shocking details, which include a 3-week-old baby.
It was serious. To hear someone calling for help and you can't do anything to save the person, it's terrible.
We'll get an update as the police and fire service have begun investigations to unravel how the 5 people died. Also, management of defunct Unibank accuses Bank of Ghana of contributing to its collapse with frequent on-site visits that saw the bank's capital adequacy ratio downgraded.
Nothing at all. There has been a report prepared by an official administrator. As a result of the report, the bank has collapsed. So if you are the shareholder, would you sit down quietly and fold your arms?
We have fresh details of letters written by Unibank assuring the central bank of its ability to resolve initial concerns about its insolvent state. Also coming up, NGOs, government agencies and private persons step in to provide potable water for residents of Mafe Akukokbo, where everyone drinks muddy water, following Joy News story.
Yes, the government should bring us another water, pipe-on water.
Later in sports, a member of the FIFA Cup liaison team has been telling Joy Sports that the yet to be constituted normalization committee will make football better in the country.
And family of the late former UN Secretary General Kofi Annan hint of funeral arrangements next week as tributes continue to pour for the global statesman.
He is also Otum was Musumuru, and from next week the family will announce to the Otumfo and he might advise us the way forward.
Meanwhile, his former policy advisor, who has also been speaking about Mr. Annan's health, we'll hear from him. My name is Gifty Ando Apia. Let's settle for the details now. Voices of members of the SDA church members singing as they try to come to terms with the shocking deaths of 5 members of their pastor's family. The district pastor at the Dansuman SDA church lost his wife, his 4-year-old son, and a 3-week-old baby, as well as his mother-in-law, while he was away on official duties. Maxwell Agbagba has more in this report.
Eyewitnesses say the fire started at about 5:30 a.m. when majority of the occupants of the house were still sleeping.
Because I just heard the noise that was saying Mishio, Ejao, Bimbro, and so I rushed to the door and then the door was locked. I had to force myself and break the door so I could come out. When I was coming out, I could hear her because then there was so much of smoke coming out. The whole place was red, and the thing was going all boom, boom, and so it was really intense. That when she was tired, when the fire had actually got into her and the smoke, so her voice kept dying, the help kept going down, and then you couldn't hear her say anything anymore.
The pastor's 30-year-old wife and their 2 children, one of them a 3-week-old baby, were all burnt to death. The pastor's 65-year-old mother-in-law, who had visited with another 9-year-old girl, also died in the blaze whilst he was away at a church camp meeting in the eastern region.
Maxwell Agbagba's report. Well, leaders of the Accra Seventh-day Adventist Church are locked up in a meeting discussing the way forward. 3 other pastors occupying the 1-story building have been taken to another location whilst the police and the Ghana National Fire Service continue with their investigations. Scores of people have been moving to the family house of the pastor to commiserate with him. Here is a neighbor speaking to Joy News Today.
So we started calling the fire service. They were not answering. So I went to the junction to get a taxi to the fire service station at Dansuman here. But when I got to the junction, I saw that they were also coming. Initially, I think someone went there to get them. So, but when we got here with the fire service, the people were already dead. For the fire, we don't know when it actually happened, but we heard them screaming around 5:40 something, 5:45 there. That's when we heard them screaming.
And how intense was it?
It was serious. I mean, to hear someone calling for help and you can't do anything to save the person, it's terrible. It's terrible.
That's an eyewitness speaking to Maxwell Agbagba. Well, the police and the Ghana National Fire Service had indicated earlier they're investigating this matter, which happened yesterday at Dansoman. Maxwell Agbagba has been on this beat. He joins me on the line with more. Hello, Maxwell. Bring us to speed on what's happening now.
Well, we are currently at the family house of the late pastor right now, and we have some family members and then church members also coming in to commiserate with the family. A lot of them we've seen are very inconsolable. Some of them we tried getting some information from them, but they wouldn't talk to us. Earlier, we were at the place where the incident happened. In the morning, we saw some personnel from the Ghana National Fire Service. They came there to do some structural assessments, but they left there about 30 minutes later. Some minutes ago also, we picked up information that the meeting of the leaders at the headquarters of the Accra SDA Church is still ongoing. The leaders of the church are yet to come up with any decision. So we are monitoring that also closely, Gifty.
Well, the elders of the church, what have they been telling you?
Well, they are begging for privacy at this moment of grief. They say they understand the dimension of this particular issue. They know that is more or less a national disaster, but they are begging for some privacy. But they say that they will be giving us more information on what exactly happened. They said we should wait later. They will be releasing a statement, and all the details that we need will be contained in that statement.
National Office of the Church will come out with a statement that will provide whatever information you need officially at appropriate time. And knowing that you are eager to be part of this funeral, when you know, we are sure you'll be with us when the time comes for the funeral. We ask that you pray for the family. The church is collaborating with both sides of the family of the funeral, that is the lady's family and the pastor's family, so we can go through this exercise to the glory of God. And so whatever you can do behind the scenes to make the pain lesser and lesser, we would appreciate that.
You heard a leader of the SDA Church whose pastor lost 5 of his family members yesterday. The management of defunct Unibank has fought back, accusing the Bank of Ghana of contributing to its collapse. They say frequent unusual on-site visits that saw the bank's capital adequacy ratio downgraded caused public confidence in the bank performing so well to wane. The central bank earlier this month revoked Unibank's license as it merged it with 4 other banks to form the consolidated bank, saying the banks had become insolvent. A non-executive director of the defunct bank, Professor Newman Kusi, however, believes the central bank contributed significantly to make them insolvent. We'll hear from him shortly, but my colleague Kojo Yangson joins me in the studio with a letter written by Unibank to the Bank of Ghana last year. Kojo, who authored this letter and what does it say specifically about the on-site visit and how it affected the bank?
Well, Kitty, the letter, which is dated 18th of January 2018, was authored and signed by Professor Newman Kusi on behalf of the board chairman. It was addressed to Mr. Osei Jesse, who is the head of Banking Supervision Department at the Bank of Ghana, with copies to the Vice President, the Office of the President, Albert Kandapa, Minister of National Security, Dr. Addison, Governor of the Bank of Ghana, as well as several deputy governors and heads of departments at the Bank of Ghana. It was also copied to Dr. Kwabena Dufo II, who was the CEO of Unibank. Now, to answer your question about why they were concerned about these frequent visits, I'll read a couple of paragraphs from the letter, which was headed Post On-Site Unconventional Examinations Involving Monthly Auditing and Downgrading of Some Unibank Credit Facilities. Now, it says that between 15th of May and 21st of June 2017, Banking Supervision Department conducted on-site examinations of Unibank. The results revealed that A. Unibank's reported capital adequacy ratio, which is the ratio of a bank's capital against their risk, was 10.70% and had reduced to 8.24% following the downgrading of some loans. The total paid up capital of Unibank as of July 2017 stood at 422.1 million Ghana cedis. The letter continues to say that while Unibank was organizing its own team to look at this report, the Banking Supervision Department sent yet another team in September and again downgraded the same accounts. The result was that the paid-up capital was reduced from 422.1 million to 153 million. It says once more another team visited Unibank in October 2017, carried out further auditing, downgrading of the same credit facilities, and at the end of October, the BSD produced a result which had wiped out the entire paid-up capital of 422 million and had produced a huge loss in the income surplus account. The CAR had naturally been thrown into huge negative mode. Now, here is why they were concerned about it. It says in paragraph 6, it is also common knowledge that on-site examination by the BSD is conducted once a year in each bank. However, in the case of Unibank, in addition to the on-site examination which ended on the 15th of August, the BSD has had 3 additional visits, all of which Unibank was not given reasons for. All these 3 visits were spent on auditing and downgrading the same accounts on which the earlier on-site examination had made provision for. In effect, what it means is that since August, these same accounts have been downgraded 4 times, and the unfortunate aspect is that the downgrading even included government and quasi-government exposures to Unibank. And this is how they conclude. The board has therefore instructed the management of the bank to henceforth rely on the 15th August 2017 BSD examination results as the basis for the preparation of all their returns.
Right. So that is a letter written by Unibank to the Bank of Ghana last year. We can now take a listen to Professor Kusi, who is a non-executive director of the defunct bank, arguing that the central bank treated Unibank unfairly.
When the official administrator was appointed, we met with them. We agreed with them that can we meet on a weekly basis so that you appraise us with what is going on. They said, okay. None was it, anything of that was reported to us until 30th of July, 2 days after the bank was dissolved. The shareholder had a meeting to them. It was at that meeting that all these types of allegations, according to allegations, because I didn't see the report myself, all these allegations some were mentioned by the KPMG and the shareholder,
Prof, finally, would these concerns that you have raised about what KPMG has done and what the Bank of Ghana has done, would the shareholder be taking any action? Would you be deciding to go to the bank, to go to court, I mean?
Of course, the shareholder will have to take action. If nothing at all, there has been a report prepared by an official administrator on his assets, his bank.
Yeah.
As a result of the report, the bank has collapsed. So if you are the shareholder, would you sit down quietly and fold your arms?
Well, that is Professor Kusi speaking earlier on the Super Morning Show. Meanwhile, Joy News is learning that some 3 banks have made a request for liquidity support from the central bank. We will be telling you a bit more about that in a subsequent bulletin. But the collapse of some of the indigenous banks have been met with calls for top managers to be prosecuted. Private legal practitioner Yoni Kulendi says this may not achieve much without reforms to restore the much-needed confidence in the sector. He spoke on Joy News analysis show Newsfile.
People have already concluded that some people are thieves, some people have raided, some people have shared and are jumping around and saying throw them into jail. We have not learned how many times we have stampeded the system into these rushed conclusions, and when these situations are measured against the rigorous test of the law, they implode.
You don't solve this problem by throwing a few people into jail unless you go back and fix the fundamental problems.
Yoni Kulendi there, he's a private legal practitioner. Residents of Pandai are reminding the Deputy Roads Minister Anthony Kabo to fulfill a promise to complete roads in the community by June 2018. As it stands now, the entire Pandai district has not been tarred, making transportation within the area uncomfortable and difficult. Jojo Kobina visited Pandai and reports that many commercial vehicles have refused to ply the route.
A pregnant woman in labor, sandwiched by her husband and sister on a motorbike, riding on a dusty, terrible road. With every pothole the motorbike slumps into, the wailing increases. We could not stand her cries, so we offered her a lift in our relatively comfortable vehicle to the nearest hospital, which is over 30 minutes away. The story, which first aired on December 4, 2017, moved the Deputy Minister of Roads, Anthony Kabo, to make a promise.
The town roads for Pandai has been a priority for the government. Now, road construction is not a day's event. It involves a lot of work. The bidding process will have to go through, and then a constructor is fixed. But it also depends on the capacity of the contractor, who can work faster to ensure that the difficulties the people are going through. So give and take, I think that by middle of 2018, these roads should have been done.
It is past the deadline given by the minister, and the Pandai district roads have still not been tarred. Drainage works started close to the district assembly 2 days before we arrived there. That should at least give residents some hope that the roads will be constructed. But residents are disappointed.
The road is becoming west, and we don't know what to do. Even from here, when you have to go to Salaga, you find a very difficult problem to get there. And even moving here to Wolese is also one of the major problems they are facing here.
Jojo Kobina filed that report. Now, NGOs, government agencies and private persons are stepping in to provide potable water for residents of Mafi Akukokbo, where everyone drinks from a muddy water source. This follows a Joy News story which shined a light on the plight of the people. The residents have also written to the Assembly officially requesting pipe-on water and the supply of other safe sources. The Assembly is also in the meantime sending sachet water to the residents. Joseph Opoku Gakpo joins me in the studio with more. Joseph, it's good to have you here. What has happened since we broke the story?
So the director of an organization, a non-governmental organization, the Water for Rural Africa, Dr. Donald Senanu Agumenu, it's actually called Water for Rural Africa. They've been there assessing the situation and indicated that they would want to help provide pipe-borne water and a borehole for the community. You would recall that the district chief executive has also indicated that they actually procured a tank for the community, which they would get there soon once the roads get better and the rainy season is over. There is also the indication that the Assembly again wants to drill a borehole there. Again, they're waiting for the roads to get better during during the dry season, and then they'll do that. I've been in a conversation with the district chief executive for the area this morning. He says in the interim, the plan is that they would want to send in sachet water, several bags of them to the community. They say this will be a lot less easier to convey.
But Joseph, the last time I spoke to him, he also said that they were going to provide them with a polytank that has water. What happened to that plan?
He says they've had difficulties conveying that to the community, although they've already procured that tank. And so in the interim, that's when they would want to get in the pipe-borne water. But they've asked the community to request officially for these items, particularly the borehole and also the polytank. And the assembly member for the area, Judas Kalfieve, has written a letter dated the 16th of August to the assembly indicating that as a result of the water situation, anytime the water dries up, some of the residents have to walk over 6 kilometers in order to get another source of water, and that the water situation is causing them waterborne and water-related diseases such as cholera, diarrhea, among others. And so they're requesting for a tank first of all, and also additionally they're requesting that pipe-borne water is connected to the area from a community about 30 minutes away, which they say would rather be the best solution to the problem.
Sounds like a good plan. Joseph, thank you so much for your time, and thanks for that update. Joseph Opoku Gakpo, that you're still listening to the Midday News here on Joy 99.7 FM. We're in Love 99.5 FM in Kumasi. We're around the world at myjoyonline.com, and in London on ABN Radio. Stories gone so far. Family and friends of SDA pastor who lost 5 members of his family in an early morning inferno on Sunday yet to come to terms with the shocking deaths, which include a 3-week-old baby. We'll take a quick break. Still to come, family of the late former UN Secretary General Kofi Annan hint of funeral arrangement next week as tributes continue to pour for the global statesman.
He's also Otumfuo's Musumuru, and from next week the family will announce to the Otumfuo, and he might advise us the way forward.
That is a sweet sound of excellence. That is the sound from Mack. Yes, Mack Ghana is the #1 distributor of the world's best quality Isuzu and Chevrolet vehicles in Ghana. Isuzu trucks from 1.5 tons to heavy-duty vehicles. Isuzu buses from 15 to 33 seaters, double and single cabin pickup, available in automatic and manual transmissions. We also stock a wide range of Chevy cars, from SUVs, sedans, and small cars, fully loaded with exquisite specifications. All our range of vehicles stand out due to its high fuel efficiency, safety, luxury, spacious interior, world-class delivery, and after-sales servicing. What's more, we offer flexible payment terms to meet your pockets. Mack Ghana is a sole distributor for Isuzu trucks and pickups, as well as all range of Chevrolet cars in Ghana. Call us on 0302-813-919 in Accra or 0242-039-550 in Kumasi. Visit our website mackghana.com. Mack Ghana, with you for the long run.
You're welcome back to the Midday News here on Joy 99.7 FM. Ridwan Ibrahim Asante is here with sports.
Yes, Gifty. What a weekend it was, especially for Manchester United fans losing, at Brighton. The talk is on: should Jose Mourinho be sacked, or is he suffering from his third season syndrome, which has been a curse, in some clubs he's been at. So the topic will be on this afternoon on the Joy Sports track with Gary R. Smith and the rest of the team. But back home, not sort of good news. Already football in chaos, with the league on hold. We don't know when it will return. And do you understand, as Ghana's representative in the CAF Confederations Cup, they got booted out of the competition, losing 2-0 at home to ASEC Abidjan in that game played yesterday in Domahinkro. But it was there that a member of the FIFA and CAF liaison team, Francis Oti Akenteng, said that there will be tremendous improvement in football administration in the country when the normalization committee starts work. Football's governing body, FIFA, announced last week that it will collaborate with CAF and the government of Ghana to appoint certified persons to supervise the day-to-day running of Ghana football. After disbanding the executive committee, Akenten says there is a bright future for Ghana football.
We all agree that we've had some problems. Nobody, you don't have to hide about this one. I think it's something that all of us have seen, that yes, we have some problems. So let us use this opportunity to now reorganize restructure, to reform. And I believe once we all have the patience to do this, the future will be okay for us.
Okay. Which do you know when the normalization committee will start, will be composed?
I've still not met my chairman. The chairman, since he came, I've not met him. I had to come here for this program. When I meet him and he briefs us, we'll be able to come out and then talk about it. But for now, I'll still beg you people to be patient, and then let's hear from them, and then we'll see what we have to do.
Francis Otiake speaking to Love FM's Delali Atiasi. That's your sports for the afternoon, Gifty.
Thank you so much, Bridwan Ibrahim Asante there. Well, let's head to the Ashanti region, because the funeral arrangement of the late UN Secretary General Kofi Annan will be announced after the Asantehene is formally informed about his passing. His family members here in Ghana say they will meet Otumfuo Sedito II this week as tradition demands, because Kofi Annan was one of his chiefs. The former UN boss died last Saturday after a short illness, and tributes have been pouring in from world leaders. Prince Apia visited the family house in Kumasi and now reports.
Disappointment written all over the faces of family members of the late global statesman Kofi Annan. The last time he met the family was during the funeral of the late Asantehene held in Kumasi. Ebusuapeni Nana Brewo II explains how the family received the news.
Almost everybody wouldn't believe by the first sentence. They have to question again. I have to repeat and repeat till it sunk in. They were all under shock until the confirmation came that it was actually happened in Switzerland.
For the family, they have lost a great mind.
Even sometimes if you tell people that he's from your family, mostly they don't believe. And sometimes people have to come to the house before they will believe. There are a lot of teachers in this house, and as for us in the house, school doesn't end at the school. Even if you come home, you're still learning.
Born into a royal family, Ebusuapeni Nana Brewo II says the family will have to inform Asantehene before the final funeral rite can be announced.
He's also Otumfuo's Musumuru, and from next week, the family will appoint a delegation to go and announce to the Otumfuo, and he might advise us the way forward, how the next arrangements will be. So by the 7th day celebration, we will also tell the rest of the family.
Prince Apia reporting.
Meanwhile, a former policy advisor who was also director of communications for Kofi Annan whilst he was at the UN has been throwing some light on what the former UN Secretary General was suffering from. Edward Mortimer has been sharing his memories of his former boss with our partners, the BBC.
I saw him only a couple of months ago and he seemed in very good health. I gather he was only taken ill about 2 weeks ago with pneumonia, and turned out that he had a very aggressive leukemia which has carried him off very, very quickly, and neither his family nor anyone else, I think, really had the time to prepare themselves for this very, very great loss. He was an extraordinarily self-controlled, one might say a centred person, I think. I never saw him lose his temper. I never heard him raise his voice.
You heard Edward Mortimer there, who is former policy advisor for Kofi Annan when he was at the UN. Beginning this year, medical doctors will not be posted from the Ghana Health Service headquarters. The Ghana Health Service Council is embarking on a number of reforms to ensure that doctors compete favorably through a decentralized posting strategy to ensure equitable distribution of doctors across the country. This, according to the Director General of the Ghana Health Service, is to ensure that doctors are not concentrated in the big cities and towns, but are spread evenly across the country. The Director General of the Ghana Health Service was speaking at the graduation of medical doctors at the University of Cape Coast.
The issue of inadequate and inequitable distribution of health professionals, especially doctors, continues to be a major challenge for the health sector. What is more worrying is the inequitable distribution of health workforce, in which it is skewed towards the urban areas, to the detriment of the rural and deprived communities and districts and regions.
Mapito Sebidi is here with what's trending on social media.
All right, so Kofi Annan is trending, and at Obama Ridge says, it's very sad how we've lost 3 great statesmen within a couple weeks, from J.H. Mensah to Amisa Arthur and now Kofi Annan. All the good old men are passing out. God, please help us. And this one is from at Lord Kujo, who says, Kofi Annan migrated to the US in 1959. He never once spoke affected American accent. And this one is from at Nathan Terry, who says, Kofi Annan dies, and presidents, diplomats, top musicians, movie stars, entrepreneurs, richest men from all over the world join in to sing praises of him. Proper guide to us of the younger generation, way to live life. How will people remember you, Gifty?
He said Kofi Annan certainly deserves the trend and more. And Mapiso, thank you so much for what's trending on social media. You've been listening to the Midday News here on Joy 99.7 FM or on Love 99.5 FM in Kumasi, on ABN Radio in London, and around the world at myjoyonline.com. Our top stories is family and friends of SDA pastor who lost 5 members of his family in an early Sunday morning inferno are yet to come to terms with the shocking deaths, which include a 3-week-old baby. Also, management of defunct Unibank accuses Bank of Ghana of contributing to its collapse with frequent on-site visits that saw the bank's capital adequacy ratio downgraded. There's more news at myjoyonline.com. My name is Gifty Ando Apia. Many thanks for your time.